Billionaires aren't the problem. Don't see billionaires forcibly taking money out of my check, forcing me to have car insurance, health insurance, home insurance, pay property taxes, control interest rates, charge gas taxes, tolls, do you? Yeah. Yeah, I do. You dumb bitch. Not only is the Trump admin turning DC into an occupied zone, more fitting in a highly rated movie about what not to do when you have a free society in any form.
That's a lie.
Not only have they ramped up the outright delusional actions often associated with the entire process of immigration in this country, not only is the admin selected patsies in the Supreme Court working in tandem with other conservative patsies in the Supreme Court from previous admins to further limit or extinguish the rights of all manner of groups which do not fit into their considered norm, but the battle with TikTok might still be going on. And this is all, in my opinion, a conspiracy theory, even to a certain degree that I just have to clarify because, it's kind of just my visual. It's not actually a confirmed thing. So put on your tinfoil hats and follow me into something completely off going on in TikTok that doesn't make any ounce of sense.
And here we go.
TikTok is no stranger to bot accounts, which no social media service ever truly is. Even the irrelevant ones have a massive stream of bot accounts. These bot accounts only recently popped up in the last few months that we are focusing on today, since Trump's initial allowance of TikTok for another, I think, 180 days or 90 days or whatever it was. These accounts tried to be insightful yet funny, but do so in a conservative way, and conservative comedy is impossible to follow with any real success, and conservative and insightful are just two words that nowhere on this planet go together.
Bingo!
I'm pretty sure at this point it's illegal. So let's look at some examples so I can show you what I'm talking about. And if you ever see any of these out in the wild, you can identify them. Divided. How are we divided when we, the people, are 82% and the liberal Democrats are 18%? Firstly, English, motherfucker, do you speak it? What in the Transformers is a Democrat? Is that supposed to be a joke? Is it supposed to be like a combination, like a demon and like a Democrat? Because I don't think you're that intelligent to make that calculation, considering quite often conservatives pull shit out of thin air just to justify their worldview. So there's no way that was meant to be Democrat. I unfortunately think I just contributed to a new nickname for Republicans, specifically MAGA for Democrats, which honestly, who the fuck cares? It'll be the most creative thing you use. But still, I don't think that was the intent. I think that was just either genuine misspelling due to idiocracy, or this person's first language might not be English, which is an insane statement to say considering this administration's stance on people whose first language is not English.
What? Why you speak English, lady?
Secondly, the election was a fallout before the night had transitioned to morning, but it wasn't an 82% fallout. Hell, I'd wager to say really probably about a fourth of registered Democrats might not have even voted just because of their disillusionment with the Democratic Party and its leadership, and of course, Kamala Harris.
No, you're right.
If they had gone further down the Tim Walz route, been more progressive, and actually addressed Gaza with an acceptable response other than the whole situation must continue, which is what Kamala basically said, just with a little bit more restraint. I don't know how the fuck that is done, but many people just didn't vote because they just did not like the Democrats' message. It was fucking god-awful, which of course is god-awful. They're conservatives with an acceptance of women and some gay people and one or two pick-me trans.
Yes!
Of course, the message didn't land right because it didn't fit with the people they were trying to pull in as voters, even though technically they were trying to pull in right-wingers, which I don't know what the fuck, whatever. No. And even if they had the proper messaging, who's to say that they would have still won? I mean, maybe we would have had an extra day or two, of counting the votes. but Donald Trump might still have one. But the margin would have still been what it probably was, just a tiny bit smaller, because again, the messaging of Democrats was just dog shit. And even if Kamala came in hot with something progressive, I don't think she would have caved on Gaza, and I think that still would have been a pretty significant death nail for her and her ticket potential. But to say 80% of the country is what I assume you're trying to reference is MAGA?
Hell no!
Yeah, no. Have you looked at the response you people get anywhere and everywhere in this country except for like your own home? And even then, I guarantee you, if you have more than one kid, one of those children fucking hates you, and a part of it is probably because you're in MAGA. Like, what are you talking about? Maybe you think that 82% of America is Republican, in which case,
no.
Have you seen the past like 30 years? No, not even 30. Have you seen how minorities react to Republicans ever since Reagan, if we're being honest? Like, most minority groups do not have this affinity towards Republicans, solely because Republicans don't have an affinity towards most minority groups. And you might say, oh, well then you guys should win if you claim, because after all, you guys are taking over the country. No, we can't win because, hell, you institutionalize many of us in jails and place the tag of felony on us to prevent us from voting, as well as keep our education systems as low as possible in order to, I don't know, avoid having to deal with us being an educated voter base.
I can excuse racism, but I draw the line at animal cruelty.
Just my personal thoughts. Also, I want to note in these images, the stereotypical profile pic and, you know, the simple name on all of these is transferable to basically all the accounts this randomly pops up on, which, if you haven't seen these, God bless your algorithm. I wish I had the same one, but unfortunately I'm me and I follow political stuff on just about all my social media, and it's probably making me go rabidly insane with the want to smash anyone without 10% logic. Most normal people stopped watching South Park a long ass time ago when we realized how toxic it was. I can't believe people will actually present a short clip of that garbage proudly as if it achieved anything. Again, with the name, I mean, you got Patriot 4641, and what I can only assume from afar was a Neanderthal with a man bun.
What the hell is even that?
Basically, MGK circa 25k BCE. But what the fuck is he talking about if South Park's viewership is in decline or down compared to its peak? It's probably for the same reason that Family Guy's viewership or The Simpsons viewership will be down or in decline from its peak. They're long ass running shows. A lot of their kind of committed fan base is going to have already aged out of watching cartoons, even if, yes, these are technically adult cartoons. At the end of the day, when people become adults, they have less time to watch fucking TV. And since they have less time to watch TV, yeah, viewership's gonna go down. And again, shows usually gather a fan base, the committed long-running fan base, in their beginnings. How many new Walking Dead fans do you think exist out there? Not many, but they're still making shows. Why? Because the initial fan base is still dedicated. This is why you get remakes and shit, because part of it is these like studios and stuff know that the initial fan base is dedicated. They will follow something to the end. That's how this works. So you're talking about South Park being a crap show and toxic and blah blah blah. What the fuck are you talking about? Also, I really don't think they made like Kristi Noem ugly enough in the episode. I didn't see the episode. I've seen photos of her before she turns into like a wicked witch, and it's the same thing in life for her. I think like appearance is not everything, obviously, but it plays a role, and I assume that Kristi Noem without makeup and probably enough Botox to paralyze a fucking elephant
Oh shit.
is probably an eldritch demon. The amount of makeup and clear work this woman has had done, I'm pretty sure if you strip that all away, she would literally look like what I assume Cthulhu's first child would be. But with the makeup, of course, she passes as like your standard wealthy, idiot, upper-class suburbia woman who is cheating on her husband with the black football coach at her son's private school. But personality plays a huge part, and her personality and very being makes her immediately appear like a post-fucking Mace Windu fight Sidious. I'm too weak. Maybe that's just to me, but I think I'm not the only person with that opinion. And that's what they did in the show. Like, she shows up initially and she looks like, quote unquote, the normal suburban wealthy mom who does politics on the side. Why? Not really for anything other than it's the only way she can get gratification because her husband doesn't compliment her enough or care enough or some shit. I don't know why they particularly do it, or just brain rot. Probably just brain rot and want to be the pick-me woman. And then she evolves into her natural form, which is the eldritch demon daughter of Cthulhu. That's what they did. I don't see how you're angry about that. Like, also, it's Christy fucking Gnome. This is not a 10 out of 10 woman, okay? So the fact that you're going to bat and making swings for her is insane. But also, why does it make you butthurt that South Park, who historically has trashed countless politicians and celebrities and made them look like exaggerated demonic characters themselves or land it right on the nose, why does them giving Gnome that treatment hurt you? Like, why do you care? I don't even think MAGA, like I was saying, I don't think MAGA even considers her to have her own cult within their sphere of figures. Like, so you just went to bat for someone who's a pick-me chick, and if there's one thing that is consistent about pick-me chicks, whether they're ugly or beautiful, pick-me chicks are easily replaceable. And this is why I started thinking to myself, just this whole defense of Christy Gnome is like, who is posting these fucking TikToks? Because it's not really trending, but if you follow more than one political account on TikTok, they just start sending them your way into your algorithm. Some days I've had it where it was, every 10 to 15 or so swipes up. Some days I've had it where I've had to, and this is probably snitching on what I do on the toilet, scroll for 30 minutes, and then I get like a mass of them almost back to back for like 2 minutes, and I'm like stuck in the comment section watching these people get cooked and confused to hell as to why this is even happening. They're crappy attempts to sound insightful or humorous, and also, why do they all almost always use a Microsoft Paint background or some shit? Can you be more innovative than the stereotypical Microsoft Paint background with text? Like, what the YouTuber apology videos have more effort than this? This one, it doesn't even need an explanation, because our collective wallets as a society are literally dead. Okay, they are dead. They're attempting to be resuscitated, but every doctor in the room is just like, there's no hope. So I don't need to defend my view on this at all, because their view, if they're a real person or a bot, is just fucking wrong. Billionaires aren't the problem. Don't see billionaires forcibly taking money out of my check, forcing me to have car insurance, health insurance, home insurance, pay property taxes, control interest rates, charge gas taxes, tolls. Do you? Yeah, I do. You dumb bitch. I do see them doing that. Like, why do you even think those charges exist in your life? Why do you think those things affect your life in the first fucking place? Are you stupid?
No. No.
Even if you're a fucking robot, there is no goddamn way that you could be this fucking stupid. Even Grok was like countering shit Elon was saying, and it's his own toy. All of these things, except for the tax part, are things which are either scams placed in a legal zone by lobbying groups, or public services which should be offered by the government but are privatized because some dipshit pays more in lobbying fees in a year than you and your next 20 generations of your family will make in their entire lifetimes collectively. And they spend that year over year adjusting for inflation, and they have spent more money on lobbying than the value your family will ever contribute to humanity as a whole before your bloodline fucking runs out. Ricely 4 and parental advisory profile pic? Like, are you serious? If this is a bot like I think it is, like some script creating bot accounts, It is ass tier at making any of these accounts fucking believable. And mind you, these posts always have comment sections that are so damn valid, as I alluded to earlier, and so few likes. I know that if these accounts are posted by actual MAGA individuals, like actual die-hard MAGA fans, then there are divorced dads or bored and unemployed single moms in trailer parks or brain-rotted, lifted, truck kitten nepo right-winger douchebags out there losing their absolute shit as they see no one likes or buys into their delusional worldview outside Betsy down at the local Dollar Tree in your one fucking stoplight town, or their family members. That's all the people liking these posts. I've never seen one have more than 1,000 likes. Meanwhile, the comment section is literally like 4, 5, 6, 7K comments of how that person is a fucking idiot. And so that's why I think this isn't real people, because these things do reply in the comments, but 90% of the time they either don't address the comment given, or they say something so fucking generic it sounds like it's literally off of Fox News. And so I think that it's a bot thing, just because the admin has meddled in TikTok's business model and affairs before and made demands before, such as, pushing for the appointment of Erica Mendel as sort of an appeasement to them and the Israeli benefactors that own our politicians, the traitorous bastards, because Jewish hate was somehow on the rise on the platform where we were seeing nothing but the slaughter of Gazans, and majority of the posts against that were correctly not correlating Judaism with a nation state's actions. Not to mention, Jews have played pivotal roles in nearly all protests against the genocide, and the protests have never ever been about anti-Judaism or anti-Semitism, nor have you seen any protests by Nazis about Gaza, because it doesn't exist. And even if it does, I got a feeling that those Nazis might not make it home that night unharmed, with the way that the world is getting more and more pissed with right-wingers and their neo-fascist bullshit. The protests are anti-Zionist, and Zionism is a belief in a secular state for Jews. It's not even a theocratic state, which at least would be much, much cooler. Because, we could see BB try and then fail to cosplay a Jewish rabbi, rather than Hitler without the mustache. Whoa! Nope, it's just a neo-fascist state with a bunch of young adults more focused on being either sexy and enticing for propaganda, or being literal demons on earth by making fun of women and children they just eliminated in their own homes with their own former items as if it's a game. Or you get the inbred weirdos who are living entirely off American taxpayer funding in territories where it is illegal for them to set up housing, otherwise known as settlers. Inbred fucks. Now, asking TikTok to push right-wing narratives is something which is difficult. I mean, sure, many leftists or liberals have abandoned Twitter, but it was a site which sort of was becoming more like an alert posting site with news and information, more than it was a social media site well before Elon came along. It didn't have longevity of social staying power, but TikTok and YouTube, and to some degree Instagram, are big hitter social media apps right now. Their algorithms simply would overwhelm any attempt at manipulation, or people would just find a way around it with an ulterior language, creating new words for certain instances, and those words then going viral, and the process repeating over and over and over. And eventually TikTok will just give up on trying to police the situation, because it's a hopeless game, which is rightfully so. Free speech being what free speech is, should be allowed to flourish on social media apps, especially considering that these apps are quite often, platforms of expression. And what is expression if not free speech?
Amen.
Sure, some of it can be bad, but that is what public shaming is for. Yeah, bullying sucks, but I don't think someone with half a brain would judge anyone for bullying a Nazi or a child herder, or a murderer with no regrets or guilt on their actions. And that is why free speech comes with consequences when done so in a way to hurt others. Consequences such as isolation, job loss, marriage dissolution, public backlash, and exclusion from possible future ventures of growth until one addresses their issues. Is it perfect?
No.
What is in this world that we live in, which is quite literally burning down all around us? Though generally speaking, the real heinous shit gets put down fairly quickly, or at least ensures someone is marked for life.
Lieutenant, you're pretty good at that.
Why, you get to Carnegie Hall, don't you? Practice.
So pushing someone in TikTok offices to start spam pushing bot accounts trying to defend and promote the admin's agenda, or glaze Trump, or even push, the standard MAGA account from someone that's actually MAGA, who just otherwise never would see any sort of round gained on the platform. That won't happen unless we are already at the point of the government having declared itself outright an empire or a right. And thankfully we haven't gotten there. We've gotten hella close. Gotten really, really, really close. Really, really close. I'm going to scream. So what is the theory I have behind these accounts? Simple. There's a White House staffer being paid little to no money who was brought in to create maybe a script or something which generates these accounts and goes in there to post this crappy attempt as nationalist propaganda and lunacy. And because they are likely hard-pressed to find people who actually do good jobs and aren't too busy drinking the Kool-Aid, they hired some kid who was so bad that they forgot to make the script create, at the bare minimum, interesting backgrounds and media surrounding the post. Or even some scripts to have bot accounts that run defense, because the comments of these things are cooking with enough heat to counteract the sun itself, and no reply these accounts gives ever even remotely comes close to even being like, I've got the fucking lib. It's just god awful. So let me know what you think this is down in the comments below. Let me know if you've seen them and what argument they tried to deadpan out to you in some attempt at being insightful and or humorous, but failing miserably to do so, even remotely close, not even 1%. And if you agree with these posts, hi, welcome to my channel. Do me and the world a favor and strip the fucking lead paint from inside your home. It's genuinely causing you and your decision-making skills to become a worldwide fucking problem. And regardless of beliefs, if you like what you saw here and enjoyed this content and other content on the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Maybe that poor abused White House worker from my theory watches this and decides to just up and quit to stop this absolute shit show example of just how important it truly is to at least have some effort put into your propaganda.
But
who are we kidding? If this theory is real, this kid is just, he's an exile left over from the Elon Musk Doge / Donald Trump breakup, and is just trying to keep a job because there is no way currently right now he's gonna be able to go anywhere without more pandering to these people, because having this admin on your resume, I'm pretty sure, is a worse dagger than a felony at this point.